Hello everyone, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright. So we're gonna go ahead, continue from where we last left off in the trial. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan, no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. Are you sure about that, lady? Are you sure? Does this account for everything? Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with the testimony, I'm already making a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Let's see. Would you say that your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need three things. Three things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally decisive evidence. And if you think these things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school. At least not from what I remember. May I continue now? You hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints in a knife can very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. During the fight, the killer ripped the button from the gentleman mentioned costume. Talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the plates of Matt's Hakama. Is that correct? And I can't even get the word out there for a second, good golly. I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Ugh. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fit your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. How'd you know I was thinking? Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. Okay. Autopsy report. Objection! This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Ah! She's getting nervous. You could see her sweating bullets here. And that's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was constantly pulled off the victim's already dead body. That's true. Objection! What's the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Ezra. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We know this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this off from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To put the crime on the injured. There is only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Injured. There's no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right. Mr. Injured was set up by the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright? Who in the world is the real killer then? Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned the frame with the injured is... Mr. Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You're Mr. Curry, the killer. What? Order! 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 Mr. Wright! This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Mr. Andrews. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then, what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Engard naturally. The knife covered in the defendant's fingerprint could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. I like how her glasses just break off. Then, what about the button that was found on Matt's Hakama? The button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. Engard was the real killer, there's no way he could have put some incriminating evidence on the whole Hakama. Yeah, that's true. The only person who could put the button on the Mr. Engard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity and they fled the crime scene. Now who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Mr. Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on a guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone found out that she touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. Yeah, that's true. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprint on the glass to show that, yes, indeed. She was the classic day's discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there's this photo. The photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on earth would believe this mystical samurai is Mr. Engard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Miss Andrews. I refuse to testify. What was that? There's the law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it incriminates me. Well, yes. You're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness not to testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Enjard's room, Adrian Andrews. Yes? They heard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. That's it. That's when Franziska planted this idea in her head. She must have told Miss Andrews not to testify if things look bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so human, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything to the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definite proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. Mr. Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita? I believe this may lead me to incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Mr. Andrews... If you do that, that would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Mr. Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with the solid, definite proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there's only one thing the court can do, and that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And tomorrow's trial. Tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get not guilty verdict today, then... Hold it. Hold it. Please, wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya. But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, the court is... It is not impossible for the trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true, Miss Andrews holds the right against the self-incrimination, however. If the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, that she had no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that's very true, but actually there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Mr. Andrews? When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but to think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds the body, they're shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we found out in the testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it's about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off him. Is he a friend or a foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Mr. Andrews, if you please. Okay, let's do this. The glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in a messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I poured him some juice. Then I realized that he was dead. That's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim? Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what in the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Yeah, what's going on? That's my question. Now, then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay, let's get going here with this one. That glass of juice. Let's see. 4. I have to present the crime photo up. 5, 4, 5, or 6.
Objection!
So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? What's the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking out straight out of Mr. Curtio's chest. Anyone who saw the scene would immediately thought there was a dead man. That's true. That's what... Well, you see... I doubt a single person in the row mistake this for someone who fainted. And none can go pour something to drink. Your point is, Mr. Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you're the real killer. No. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt Engard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Mr. Andrews, Try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so was you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because, Mr. Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. She's refusing again. Then there's no need for the court to continue any further. Mr. Engard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Engard.
Objection!
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at the time. What? The reason is quite simple. The witness has yet to speak on the absolute truth. It's true. The absolute truth. What are you... Witness? Don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt Engard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. Yeah, if you don't tell the truth, then you'll end up in jail. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. Franziska von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly into the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is. Yesterday she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Matt Engard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and clinging onto them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I ever come across anything like this. But Mr. Andrews had the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That's my only priority. It wasn't me, I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did, and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who the real mastermind is. Isn't that obvious? There's no one else that could be except the woman crying right there. Right? Come on now, what will you do? What kind of a man are you, Phoenix Wright? I have to win the complete acquittal today. There's no way around it. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Mr. Andrews, I would like to know what you're really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Engard would have an acquittal, but in his place he would be found guilty. Is this how you really want the trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I condemn you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense is theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she had tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop! Please stop! No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I mean about the dude, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. Secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please, please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll... If you're going to say you choose death, that's no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? Oh, I know, right? However, before you go, I'll pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. So will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. I feel sorry for her. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honestly. When I realized he was dead, it was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made the dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed one dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished that, returned to Matt's room, I had a bit of inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. Stabbed the body with a knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious to pin the blame on a certain person? A certain cowardly man? What do you mean by all this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man, I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time, so Miss Andrews stabbed the victim one in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt in guard for the murder. And this is her crime. So I have to push on all the statements. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Yeah, please do so. Camden, I'll have to press up on all of these. But you could tell from the state of the room one's in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck, but that scarf is part of the Jama Ninja costume, so I didn't think any about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. When I realized... Okay, I'm gonna have to push that. What is this plan you had? I knew right away that the murderer was Matt. I knew because one, he was gonna expose Matt's weakness weakest point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Vaughn and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife correct. The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprint all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eye toward him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped him and took the knife and returned it to the scene of the crime. So you were the one that stabbed the victim with that knife? It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I can't control my own body, it moved on its own. Then when I stabbed one's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button, somehow I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip off one of the buttons and plan on Mr. George Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never got to that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience. There was a woman with a camera at the ready loitering in the hallway. Oh, Lotta. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready pacing back and forth. Miss Oldbag. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I already been caught and made a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who prepared the costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it in Juan's guitar case that day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought if I could leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not know about the costume. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Enjar's room and planted the button? Onto Matt Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word. What does that all mean? Mr. Edgeworth? Is it? The real criminal is Matt Enjard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Franziska, huh? She said I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just keep quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is certainly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she's not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. Defense is... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it's not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. That's true. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of the witness is over, and still at today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But, Mr. Edgar, please place Mr. Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. Prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Today's trial is over. I didn't win the acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I ask you something? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at that one thing, the card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this. Mr. Wright also asked about it. Although I don't remember at the time you asked me about it, right? I just remember now because this is in the room on that day. The room. That day. Yes. I found this card when I discovered one. It was lying right next to him. I found the card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have consciously slipped into my pocket. But now if this card has a new relevance to Mr. Wan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess that's not. But if it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to the case, I don't see why. Witness, that card, give it to me, hurry! Edgeworth. Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? What does it mean? And it's like, what does that mean at all? So I'm gonna go ahead and hold it here for now. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to hit that like button below. And subscribe for more videos to come. See you guys later. Bye guys.